You know, when we talk about Black history, I think a lot of us picture something from, I don't know, 50, maybe 100 years ago.
Sure, something viewed through a sepia filter.
Exactly. But today's deep dive, it's based on this coverage from the Afro-American newspapers, and it shows that history can be, well, a PDF from just a few years ago.
It's so much closer than people realize.
We're looking at a very specific turning point today, Dr. Khalilah Jefferson, and the very first doctoral degrees ever granted by Coppin State University.
A huge milestone.
A huge one. And our mission today is to understand why this isn't just a feel-good story for one graduate, but a real structural shift for HBCUs and for healthcare leadership itself.
And the timeline is, I mean, it's the first thing that really grabs you. This doctoral cohort at Coppin,
Yeah.
it only launched in 2017.
Wow,
Like-
2017, that is so recent. I mean, Coppin State has been around for over a century, right?
It has, yeah.
So what took so long to get to the doctoral level?
Well, it really reflects these broader structural barriers.
Okay.
Getting a program like this accredited, funded, especially at an HBCU, it just involves hurdles that other institutions might not face.
So when Dr. Jefferson walked across that stage,
She wasn't just a graduate. She was, proof of concept for the Helene Fuld School of Nursing's highest possible degree.
okay, so let's get into what that education actually is. Because when I hear doctorate in nursing, my mind immediately goes to a PhD, someone, in a library writing a dissertation. Is that what we're talking about here?
That is a really crucial distinction to make. Usually these programs are for a DNP, a doctor of nursing practice.
BNP.
And that's the fundamental difference. A PhD is about generating brand new knowledge through original research.
Okay.
A DNP is about taking that existing research and actually translating it into practice.
Oh, I see. So it's like one person discovers the cure, and the DNP figures out how to get it to the patient.
That's a great way to put it. Yes, they are that bridge.
And is that a big problem, the bridge part?
It is a massive gap in healthcare. We have so much research, but the implementation, that's often where we fail. These doctoral prepared nurses are trained to look at the whole system, clinical workflows, hospital policy, and fix those things that lead to poor outcomes.
Okay, so the degree itself is clearly functional, but why does it matter so much that this happened at Coppin State at an HBCU? I mean, does the setting actually change the degree?
It doesn't change the degree, but it absolutely changes the perspective of the person holding it.
Oh, okay.
This is where that idea of health equity becomes, really tangible.
How so?
Well, if you study at an institution that's so deeply embedded in its community like Coppin is in Baltimore, your training isn't just theoretical. You're not just reading about social determinants of health. You are seeing it every day.
So you're creating leaders who aren't just memorizing policy points, they're writing policy based on lived experience.
Spot on. And the sources really emphasize that expanding these programs directly addresses this disparity in who even gets to hold a terminal degree in the first place.
Right.
If only certain groups of people can get the highest credentials, then only those groups become the deans, the chief nursing officers, the policy advisors.
So you're not just diversifying the bedside staff, you're
Yeah.
diversifying the decision makers, the people in the boardroom.
Exactly. And that completely changes the output. A leader trained at an HBCU might see gaps in care for minoritized communities that someone else would just miss, simply because it wasn't a priority in their curriculum.
You know, there's a phrase in the source material that I think just perfectly anchors this whole thing. It calls this history functional, earned, and consequential.
That's it right there. Consequential. That's the key. Dr. Jefferson's success sends a signal to other HBCUs that, look, the demand is there. The talent is there.
It validates the investment.
It really does.
It feels like it moves the whole conversation from just access to college to access to leadership.
And when you have that, that's when you start to see the ripple effects in our national health data.
Right. Which leaves us with a final thought for you to take away. We know that the person writing the policy is the person who determines who gets the care. So if this pipeline of HBCU-trained doctoral leaders keeps growing, how long will it be before we see a real measurable shift in the health outcomes for the communities they serve? Is a degree like this one actually the tipping point? Thanks for diving in with us.